Most people watching this think their problem is the housing market. Too expensive, too competitive, rates too high. And honestly, the market is tough. But there's something happening on your end in your own bank account that's doing just as much damage as any of it, and you probably don't even see it. This video is about 5 money habits that are quietly killing your shot at owning a home. Not vague stuff like stop buying coffee. Real, specific patterns that people fall into without realizing they're building a wall between themselves and a mortgage. I've gone deep on the research here, and one of these habits, the last one, is something almost nobody talks about, but it might be the most powerful force keeping buyers on the sideline right now. We'll get there. Here's the thing, though. The habits get worse as we go. The first one is a small leak. By the time we hit number 5, we're talking about a structural problem in the housing market itself that's actively working against you. So let's start with something you can fix this week. Habit number 2 on the damage scale. So the second worst, which we're starting with because it earns trust fast, is lifestyle creep. You get a raise, your spending goes up. You get a bonus, it's gone in a month. Most people make it, spend it, make it, spend it, and have nothing to show for it. The problem isn't income. The problem is that every time income rises, the lifestyle rises to match it. And the gap between what you earn and what you save stays exactly the same. Flat. Zero progress. In 2025, the typical U.S. household needed about 7 years to save for a standard down payment. 7 years. And that's the national average. In San Francisco, where the median household income topped $132,000, the timeline stood at 36.5 years. So if you're in a high-cost city and you're letting lifestyle creep eat your raises, you're not just delaying a home purchase by a year or two. You're potentially delaying it by a decade or more. The fix here isn't complicated. Before any raise hits your account, decide what percentage goes straight to a dedicated house fund. Not whatever's left over at the end of the month, because there won't be anything left. The money has to move before you see it, before your lifestyle has a chance to absorb it. That one habit change alone can cut years off your timeline. Now, lifestyle creep is bad, but it's a slow bleed. Habit number 3 does the same damage faster, and it's one most people don't even consider a financial mistake. It's the car. Specifically financing a car you can't really afford. Most people finance a luxury vehicle with money they don't have to impress people they don't even like. And then they wonder why they can't save. A $600 a month car payment doesn't just cost you $600 a month. It costs you the compound growth on that money. It costs you your debt-to-income ratio when you go to apply for a mortgage. And it costs you years of potential savings. Lenders look at every recurring debt obligation you have when they calculate how much house you can qualify for. A big car payment can literally shrink the loan you're approved for, which shrinks the homes you can buy, which sometimes means you can't buy at all in your target market. The math on this is brutal. Drive a paid-off used car for 3 years instead of financing something new. Redirect that payment into savings, and you could be looking at a down payment that took someone else a decade to build. The car you drive right now is not an investment. The house you're trying to buy is. So, we've got lifestyle creep bleeding you slowly, and car payments actively working against your mortgage qualification. Both of those are fixable, but the next one is sneakier because it feels responsible. Habit number 4 is keeping all your savings in a regular checking or savings account. You're doing the right thing by saving. You're doing the wrong thing with where you're putting it. A standard savings account right now is giving you somewhere around 0.5% interest if you're lucky. Meanwhile, higher home prices and intensified competition have pushed typical down payments higher. The median down payment was $30,400. in the third quarter of 2025, up from $13,900 6 years earlier. The target is moving. And if your money is sitting in an account earning almost nothing, the gap between where you are and where you need to be is actually widening in real terms, even while you're saving. A high yield savings account, a money market account, even short-term treasury bills, these are all better places for a house fund than a standard bank account. The difference on $20,000 over 3 years between a 0.5% account and a 4.5% account is real money. It's not going to make you rich, but it could represent months off your timeline. And at this point in the game, months matter. By the way, if you're finding this useful so far and you want to see more breakdowns like this, the kind that actually go into the numbers instead of just giving you vibes, hit subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from, and the next video on this topic is going to go even deeper. Drop a comment below too and tell me which of these habits you're currently fighting. I'm curious, and honestly, it helps other people watching know they're not alone. Okay, habit number 1, the worst one, the one that's doing the most damage, is coming. But before we get there, let's talk about habit number 4.5, which I'd call the I'll buy when the market calms down trap. This is the habit of waiting. Waiting for rates to drop. Waiting for prices to fall. Waiting for the perfect moment. And it feels rational. It feels like discipline. But here's what actually happens when you wait. The timeline to save for a down payment is still about twice as long as it was before the pandemic, reflecting higher down payment amounts and persistently weaker household savings rates. So, while you're waiting for conditions to improve, the amount you need is growing, and your savings rate is probably not keeping up. When it takes longer to save for a down payment, people often put off buying, leaving them vulnerable to rising rents. It also means fewer people get access to home equity, one of the main ways Americans build long-term wealth. The waiting habit doesn't protect you. It just transfers the wealth you would have been building straight into your landlord's pocket. Now, the boss level. Habit number 5. The one I said at the start that almost nobody talks about. This is the mortgage lock-in effect. And here's why it matters for you as a buyer, not just as a concept. For much of the past 3 years, the U.S. housing market has felt frozen in place. Millions of homeowners who locked in mortgage rates below 3% during the pandemic. Era boom have been reluctant to sell, knowing that any move would likely mean trading a historically low monthly payment for a far more expensive one. That dynamic, known as the lock-in effect, has been one of the biggest forces constraining housing supply. Think about what that means for you. The reason inventory has been so tight, the reason you keep getting outbid, the reason prices stayed stubbornly high even as rates went up, a big part of that is because the people who already own homes won't sell them. They're locked in. Research estimates mortgage rate lock-in is preventing about 870,000 sales in 2026. That's nearly 1 million homes that should be on the market, but aren't. And you're competing for the ones that are left. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and why this is both the biggest trap and the biggest opportunity at the same time. For the first time, there are now more homeowners with mortgage rates above 6% than those with rates below 3%. That shift marks a quiet but meaningful turning point for housing supply. The lock-in effect is starting to crack. The NAR is projecting a 14% increase in existing home sales for 2026, the first significant uptick since the rate surge began. Inventory levels are finally climbing. Year-over-year comparisons show roughly 20% more homes on the market now than at this time in 2025. So the market is starting to open up. more supply is coming, and the buyers who are ready, who have the down payment, the clean debt-to-income ratio, the savings in the right account, are about to have the best opportunity they've had in years. The buyers who spent those same years on lifestyle creep, car payments, dead savings accounts, and waiting are going to watch that window open and not be able to step through it. That's the habit. Not a spending habit this time, a preparation habit. The habit of not being ready when the moment arrives. So here's where we landed. Lifestyle creep is bleeding your savings before you even see them. Car payments are quietly shrinking your mortgage qualification. Parking your savings in the wrong account is letting inflation eat your progress. Waiting for the perfect market is costing you equity you'll never get back. And the lock-in effect, the invisible force that's been freezing the housing market for years, is finally starting to break, which means the window for prepared buyers is opening right now. The people who get through that window aren't the ones who got lucky. They're the ones who fixed these habits while everyone else was waiting. If you want to go even deeper on how to actually build a savings system that gets you to a down payment faster, that video is right up next.